talk about the perfect anything, usually people will say only in fairy tales. This of course can be said for the perfect smartphone. Well, sometimes all it takes is a little magic in the air for fairy tales to come true and make the impossible possible. Oh, and I guess if you toss in a little Samsung to the mix, you get the closest smartphone to ever achieve perfection, the Galaxy Note 9. No matter what you may say or think about Samsung, you can't deny the fact that they've proven themselves worthy of being capable of designing some of the best, if not the best, looking devices on the market to date, and they've been doing it now for the past few years. Of course, this gets carried on to the Note 9 with an all too familiar design, but it does have some slight changes. For instance, the Galaxy Note 9 has a 6.4-inch display, making it the tallest and widest Galaxy device to date. But on the flip side of that, it also has a slightly worse screen-to-body ratio versus a 6.2-inch S9 Plus. But I don't think this is a bad thing. You see, on the sides, they actually move the display a little bit off the edges. That way you don't get as many accidental presses whenever you're doing one-handed use. And I have to say, it's made a big difference. The fingerprint scanner has been moved to a much better location, thankfully, although I do wish it was a little bit lower so that reaching it was just a little bit easier. But honestly, I don't even use it very much because Intelligent Scan has been improved and it works great. I definitely suggest picking up a case or a skin, specifically a colorware skin, because you know I'm all about that colorware life, and you can find those links in the description of this video. But I definitely recommend picking up something for the back side and also using a screen protector for the front side, because those dual curved edges scratch up really easily. Now, it's difficult to find a good screen protector for the Note or even the S9 Plus or S9, and I definitely recommend Whitestone Dome. They're a little bit on the pricier side, but in my experience, provide the best protection you can get in terms of a screen protector, and they cover from edge to edge. Installation's a little weird, but I definitely recommend it. The Note series is legendary because of one special ingredient, and that special ingredient is the S Pen. You see, really, Samsung has no competition in this particular market. People have tried, but they really have never created an identical experience that Samsung offers with the Note series. Of course, in order to stay modern, the Note series needs the most up-to-date specs, if not the best specs, that are currently available on the market, and this is where things have kinda gotten stale. You see, the Note 7 and even the Note 8 were pretty much identical to their smaller cousins. In fact, the Note 8 was almost like a downgrade when compared to the S8 Plus because of the smaller battery. But that all changes with the Galaxy Note 9. For the first time in years, I feel like the Note series is finally retaking the throne as the most powerful and powerhouse device in the entire Galaxy lineup. So with that being said, if you go with the entry-level Galaxy Note 9, which is the one that I've been using, you're gonna be perfectly fine. But it's also the most similar model to the Galaxy S9 Plus, since they both feature 6GB of RAM and the same internal storage options. Now, if you want the true Note experience, you can opt for the 512GB model, which also comes with 8GB of RAM. But be warned, it's going to take a huge chunk out of your wallet if you're paying upfront and outright. In a previous video, which you can find at a card right at the top of this one, I put the OnePlus 6 up against my Galaxy Note 9, and the results were very interesting. The Note 9 actually came out on top in terms of better RAM management and overall better RAM performance, which makes me excited for the 8GB model of the Note 9. And once I get one in-house, or if I do, I will continue testing right where I left off. Needless to say, the specs combined with the Samsung Experience Launcher, which mind you has gotten more and more optimized and better with every release, creates a great overall experience if you like that specific launcher. Me personally, I'm a huge fan of Nova and also using Samsung's theme store in order to make my device look as stock-like as possible. I'll leave the link down below to the theme that I'm using in the Samsung theme store, as well as the icon pack I'm using for Nova. Samsung teamed up with the creators of Fortnite to offer an exclusive skin, as well as early access to the Fortnite game on Android. While this might not seem like a big deal, let me just explain something to you. In the past, the Note series has always been the king of productivity, and if you needed to get things done, you would use a Note. Well, now Samsung has entered into a new arena with competitors such as Razer and Asus's ROG phone, where they're claiming that the Note 9 is the ultimate gaming phone. While I can't say this claim is accurate since I've yet to use the Razer phone or the ROG phone, I can say my personal experience on the Note 9 gaming and playing Fortnite and other games has been excellent. The huge, high-res, colorful, extremely bright Super AMOLED display makes for an immersive experience even when you're just consuming media outside of gaming. Combine that with the stereo speakers that do feature Dolby Atmos support, a headphone jack with decent preamps, an SD card slot for offloading media and games, plus a water carbon cooling system to keep your phone cool while you're gaming, which I'm not completely sold on, you get an incredible experience. Not to mention the ability to use DeX without the need of any additional accessories outside of an HDMI to Type-C or Type-C to Type-C cable. You're pretty much getting the complete package with this phone. Like I said at the beginning, when it comes to the S Pen, Samsung is pretty much only competing with itself, so in the past few years, the improvements to the S Pen have kind of been underwhelming outside of the IP68 rating it recently received. Well, this year, Samsung has actually added Bluetooth to the S Pen, and it's pretty awesome. While this functionality is currently at its infant stage, Samsung did open up the APK so that way third-party app developers can include this and take advantage of the features that the new S Pen offers. Even now though, the functionality is pretty cool. You have the ability to start and stop recording, snap a photo, switch from the front to rear camera. You can also use it as a presentation clicker, and you can even control your music. Battery life on the Note 9 has been stellar, and that's thanks to the whopping 4,000 mAh battery. I'm averaging 5.5 to 6 hours consistently of screen on time, with sometimes it peaking to 8 to 9 hours, which is absolutely incredible for a phone that has a 6.4-inch Quad HD display, powerful specs, and the S Pen, which by the way charges using supercapacitors, and it doesn't interfere with the usage time on your battery. So in other words, the Note 9 is charging the S Pen every time it's docked using the supercapacitor technology, and it doesn't interfere with the length of time you're gonna get on a single charge. Pretty sweet. The camera found on the Note 9, while looking at it on paper might seem identical to the S9 Plus, is actually a step up and a major improvement over the Galaxy Note 8. When compared to the S9 Plus, the Note 9 features better image processing, as well as the addition of the Scene Optimizer, which Samsung states doesn't use AI, but it works in a similar fashion. In other words, whatever you point the camera at, it's going to determine what exactly is in the frame, and then it's going to take that information to determine how to process your image. For the most part, it works pretty good, but it does mess up the colors from time to time. Of course, like the S9 Plus, you do get the dual aperture found in the main camera on the backside, which does feature an aperture of f1.5 to 2.4, and this is definitely going to improve low light capabilities. If you use this in conjunction with the Pro Mode and RAW capture, you can get some pretty amazing results, and the best thing is, you don't need to use a separate third-party app to take advantage of this. If you want to see some great tips and tricks on how you can get the most out of your Note 9 or even S9 Plus camera, make sure to click the card at the top of this video, and it will show you some awesome tips and tricks I did in a recent video. Like previous Galaxy devices, the portrait mode option is still there, and it's only been improved slightly, but that slight improvement does render better results. What I can say about the portrait mode option on the Note 9 is that when it hits really hard and gives you the results that could easily compete with some of the highest end portrait mode equipped phones. However, it's the inconsistency that I'm talking about that makes it hard to place it over the iPhone 10 and especially the Pixel 2. The same thing can be said about the front-facing camera in portrait mode. When it hits, it does a fantastic job, but when it doesn't hit, the photos just look meh at best. Moving things over to video, the Note 9 can capture 4K video up to 60 frames per second and 1080p up to 240 frames per second. You can also do 960 frames per second slow motion video in 720p, and with the right lighting, it does look pretty good. For the most part, the video is extremely sharp, has plenty of detail, the colors just really pop out at you, especially if you're talking about the 4K 60 frames per second. My buddy Danny did an excellent cinematic video showcasing all of the Note 9's potential when using its camera, and I'll leave that video in the description of this one. I highly suggest you check it out because it might blow you away with the results that he was able to get using the stock camera app. That said, Samsung definitely needs to step it up next year with the S10 and potentially the Note 10 if they decide to drop one, because smartphone cameras are really getting advanced. Take the Huawei P20 Pro for example. But what do you guys think? You think that Samsung is innovating enough? Do you think they're not innovating enough? What do you think of the Note 9? Let's start a conversation down below in the comment section. If you have any questions, hit me up on social, as you can find all those links in the description of this video, or you can leave it down below in a comment as well. Make sure to check out the iPhone XS and XS Max giveaway we have going on. You don't want to miss that. Just click the card right up here at the top. It'll take you over there. Do what you need to do. Get in that giveaway. It's going to be awesome. If you're new here, stick around by subscribing. If you're not new here, make sure you turn on that bell icon so you can be alerted when new content drops. And if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do to that like button. If you didn't enjoy the video, you should still hit the like button because it's all about giving back, and I appreciate that. And of course, I'll talk to you guys in the next video.